Hey guys, JB here. Welcome to the ILD channel once again. We're down here in the studio, podcast studio here. We'll talk a little bit about podcasting today. Got some notes on the Remarkable 2. This channel is really just straight to the point. Love to get the comments down below, and that way I can do more videos. I don't want to do a ton of editing. I just want to teach, right? And ILD is something that's really important to me, and I've been able to live it since really 2009 when we built the first membership site and been able to build a great business around it. All around podcasting really was the original concept that made everything work. And a little history of that, back about 2005, I left my job. I wrote this book, Get Out of Neutral. It should be around here somewhere. I know I have some copies, but I got a ton of books here. Here it is. So I wrote this book, and I thought this was going to be the thing that changed everything for me. But it was a disaster. It didn't sell. I left my job. Everything was going to hell. Went out, partied with a good friend of mine. He said, why don't you do a morning message or something, or do a message? And at that time, it wasn't a morning message. It was just a message. And I'm like, well, how would I even do that? So I started thinking about it. I went to find a URL. Remember, this is back in 2005 timeframe. This is years ago. And I was searching, and Morning Coach was available. So I grabbed Morning Coach. I'm like, damn, I'm going to have to be a morning coach now. I'm going to have to get up in the mornings and do the morning thing. So I couldn't figure out how to do anything. So I started looking around for how I could put a message out, and I found freeconferencecall.com. So I literally built a landing page. I think one of the first landing pages ever. If you go on wayback.org, you'll find it. I got a book, 24 Hours, How to Build a Website. I got Dreamweaver. I pirated. I had no money, so I had to download software, figure out how to do it. I used a torrent, and I got the website up, morningcoach.com, and basically it was like I said, one of the first landing pages. It said, give me your number, and I will send you the conference call number. So we started doing conference calls, and I would get up in the morning and say, good morning. We'd do it at 6:30 and 10:30, I think were the dates, or 11:30. And I'd say, good morning, and I'd do a topic. And I did that for about 3 months. Too many people started getting on the lines, and I couldn't afford another line. And about that time, podcasting came out into 2005, 2006. And so I put it out on iTunes, and I started recording it, and it was a disaster. I didn't know how to record. I was using a Sony microphone, didn't know how to edit, put something at the beginning or the end, and I just started putting that message out, and it started taking off. More people wanted to listen, and I was like, how do I do this? How do I get it to more people? And I figured out how to do it. I wired it all together, basically duct tape and ball bearings. Started putting that out to the world, and people started listening, and over the couple years, we got 2005, 2006. For some reason, iTunes featured it on the homepage, and Morning Coach went top 25 in the world. 40,000 listeners. I started selling tons of books, and everything started to change. Now, back then, they didn't have sponsors. There were no sponsors back then, but I had 40,000 people listening. And in 2009, my dog passed away of chaos, and I was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to take this audience that I developed from 2006, 2007, 2008, build a website with 13,000 people? How am I going to do this? And I decided, let's go paid. So I believe I'm one of the first paid podcasters. I don't think there were many podcasters getting paid back then, but I went paid. And 1,321 people came with me. Changed my life. If it wasn't for those people, and a lot of them are still with me today, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. So I'm extremely thankful to those people because they came with me, able to do that. Now 5,300 plus episodes later, great business, multiple places to live, all based because of the community and that I've worked with and who I love because of this podcast. And I believe, I call it a Coach Cast, is the glue that holds it together. I do it every single day, 365 days a year. Dr. Paul Kilgore does Saturdays now. Back in the day, I had some other people doing it. But Morning Coach has become this driver of my business and really my lifestyle. And I can work an hour and a half a week, and that's it. That's all I have to work is an hour and a half to do these shows. And also, now we have planners and structure. If you go to morningcoach.com, you'll see everything. But it's really changed thousands of people's lives. We've had 10,000 plus members over the years. We go from 250 to 1,000 members, depending on what time of year it is. And it's been just a wonderful thing for me to do. But the podcast holds it all together. So let's talk a couple things about podcasting. Number one, I don't feel that podcasting is a video. I just don't. A lot of people say, oh, YouTube's got podcasts. I believe podcasting is a audio medium. And there's some reasons for that. I believe video is challenging to do. So I said, I don't want to do a bunch of editing and put a bunch of B-roll in this because it's hard. It's a lot of work where I can sit down here at my microphone, get GarageBand fired up and just crank. And by the way, make sure you subscribe, like the video, because I'm going to give all my tutorials. I want to talk about all the things I do. So when I do my podcasts, my CoachCast, I can come down here and I used to do them every day, right? Now I do all of them. I do 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, 2 on Monday. Dr. Paul does Saturday. So after I play golf, I'll come home or I'll get up early, go for a run. I'll do 2. Sunday, I'll do 2. And then I'm done. Monday morning, I'll do 2. And I literally don't have to do anything else. But I do because I love what I do. Like this, I'm doing this, right? So shooting this video, but that's what I do. And the video, you can't do that quick. Like you got to edit, you got to go make sure your hair is great. I can throw my headphones on. Nobody cares. Nobody's watching it. And when I started back in 2005, you had to plug in a podcast. It's a pod. iPod is what started all this. So to me, podcasting is an audio medium. It's like radio. It's not video, even though everybody's trying to make it that. And I get it. You know, Rogan's killed it and people have killed it. But to me, podcasting is audio. It's easier to do. It's fast. It's efficient. Look, I want to do things that are easy, fast, and efficient. And so to me, that's a big part of it. Again, I think there's a couple of things also we need to mention. Video is a prejudice medium, meaning they're going to look at you and there are people that are not going to like me. There are going to be people who watch this video that don't like me because of who I am, because the way I look and who I am. That's just the way it is in the world today. I used to think I needed gray hair to be able to teach because that's all my mentors had, right? That was kind of one of my beliefs that I had to overcome. But yeah, it's a medium that you're going to get judged immediately. It's also a medium that's getting more and more difficult to do. Like I said, I'm not editing a lot of this, but there are some great editors out there, and to compete in this world, it's tough. With audio, you don't need to do any of that. And another big one is people don't need to spend time watching it. They can put it in their car. I know they can listen to a video too, but people tend to do that, at least in my community. You know, my community is like 35 plus of successful people, entrepreneurs and people that are in corporate that are growing. That's who my group is, right? So I get the younger generations are so addicted to TikTok and stuff, but you know, a lot of people don't want to watch video. So audio, they can put it in the car, they can work out, they can exercise it. I go for a run, I can listen to audio. So that's why it works so well. It's a retention medium. A couple other things. I think that when we talk about podcasting and I start teaching it on this channel, I do it differently than everybody else. You'll see some of my shorts. I don't believe in the interview model. John Lee Dumas does a great job teaching that. It's too hard for me. I want to do things that are easy. That's ILD. I don't want to line up interviews. Have I done interviews? Yeah, I had Gary Vaynerchuk on. I've had Dwayne Dyer on. Just did one with Mike Lee Kanarick. I typically don't do interviews, but I will substitute with that. As you learn this idea for me, it's about your personal brand. When you do interviews, a lot of times you're bringing people in and it's about them. We want to make sure this is about you. That's why you're going to retain. I have people with me 19 years that have listened to every single episode. So when you do that and you make it about you, you can't worry about people that self-select out. You just got to keep building. This is not a numbers game, but it is. What you saw my video on how to build $1 million business, you don't need that many people if you really understand these concepts, okay? Great target market. Again, people that are listening to podcasts, when I started, it was really awesome because people had iPods. So they had invested in iPods, and there were a lot of Apple people. So they weren't trying to get the free stuff. Now there's so many free podcasts, there's so many free YouTube videos like this, that a lot of people don't want to pay. Unless you're doing something like I do, which is target market, very successful people that are willing to pay for coaching because they know what they're getting out of the system and the networking they're getting within my functions and things that I do. So I've been paid since 2009. My morning coach is $100 a month to join. Like, that's what I do. You want to get my stuff, you have to pay. You want to work with me, you have to pay. It just is what it is. Now, when you're building initially, it's tough. But to me, the podcast is not the acquisition model, it's the retention model. It's why people are going to pay, because they're getting me every single day. Nobody else has that model out there doing the things that I do with my Sacred Six books and the books that I've done. Nobody's built all this structure around a system. So people are paying for a system, not just a podcast. That's why I call it a CoachCast. Very important you understand branding, because if you just start doing a podcast and you don't get any traction, you're not going to do it. This is a retention system as part of ILD, and people will pay you for it if you provide value and you build a system around your IP. Some other things, build structure. I just mentioned that. So from 2006 into 2005 to 2009, I was free. built a huge base of people, and that's when I monetized. I didn't do it right. I'll be honest, I made mistakes. I just said, look, my dog died. I'm going to, we're going to start charging. And you can see some of those negative reviews. I probably could have got more than 1,321 people, but hey, that got me to where I am today. I'm okay. So I'm fine with that. But if you strategize, you get to build relationships. That's where the podcast is really great. You're in people's ears. And if you talk one-on-one, that's the other thing that I think is really important. If you really engage one-on-one, people get to know you. They'll like you and trust you. And that's what this does. Any business that you have that's membership related, or you're building that type of business, this is the greatest thing to connect with people. I absolutely love it. I will never retire from it. I will die with the microphone in my hand. Why would I ever retire? It's led to speaking and book sales and so many other things. Okay? And again, make it about you. I think it's really important you make it about you, because you want to tell your stories. You want to talk about things that are going on. Look, I've done 5,300 episodes. I showed you my content structure in another video. This stuff is priceless. I mean, I literally would charge thousands and thousands of dollars for this, but I'm doing it on this channel because I'm tired of the garbage out there. I actually do this. I'm not selling you how to do it. I do have some courses and things that you can get in my masterminds and stuff, but I'm doing this because I want you to get it right from the horse's mouth. Somebody's been doing this for 19 years. I've been building this for 19 years, okay? So when you do that, you want to make it about you. And then you don't want to overproduce. I have never edited. I start and end. I put a little music at the front and back. I have never edited. I don't edit my videos a lot. I'd rather people self-select. If people say, oh, that's not quality enough for me, they're not going to like me anyways. I don't need their money. There's billions of people in the world. Go watch my How to Make $1 Million with 500 people. You don't need millions. You don't need everybody. And the great thing is they can't cancel you. They can't rip you. They can't whatever they want to do to you. They can be angry and they can talk bad about you, but I don't care. And I actually prefer that. It's great. Hey, talk bad about me. I'm doing everything with the right intent. I don't care if you don't like me. I got a great business, and I'm going to continue to grow my business and work with amazing, successful people. If you're watching it, you get that. I don't need to overproduce things. And you got to be careful. People worry about technology, and we'll get to that on this channel. So make sure you subscribe. Get the comments below, ask questions, and I'll talk about the cameras I'm using and the videos. Right now I'm on a DJI Pocket 3. I love this thing. I got a studio next door with Sony's and everything else, but this thing's so easy to shoot on. I throw a microphone right here. I'm ready to go. And I like raw, real stuff. I don't like overproduced stuff. That's me. So my audience is going to be the same. They like to say, wow, I don't have to do all this stuff. No, I don't. So why would you? I don't like to spend other people's money. Every time I try to overproduce something, it never works. I just like to be real and authentic, and that's what really creates the sales. So podcasting, just the first video on this. This is an awesome way to retain people. Again, it can be an acquisition model, but I don't like to teach that. I like to teach this as a retention model. So what do you have to do next? I want you to ask me some questions down below so I can produce videos and I can build this channel up to support you in whatever you're doing. Again, we're going to talk a lot of ILD concepts. This is something that I've sold a $2,000 course for years and literally sold thousands of them. So, and this concept to people, I've taught this. So you have the ability to get a lot of that information here because I'm going to grow this channel. Would appreciate a subscribe because we're trying to get this to 1,000. Once it's monetized, it makes it a little bit easier for me to do things here. And again, that's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I want to get the truth out there. And if you're somebody in that 30 plus range, right? Maybe you're a little younger, but you've just seen so much stuff that I just want to give you the facts. I do this. Like, this is what I do for a living, and I've done it for 19 years, 5,300 episodes. I've monetized since basically 2009, and it's affording me a great lifestyle, and I want other people to get the truth of the things that are happening out there. So love to have a comment down below. If you made it this far, thank you, and I'm going to keep bringing you videos here. Just ask some questions down below, and we'll start building this channel together. That's how I do everything. It's a community. And if I can help you go a little ways down the road, you'll help me. That's what makes it great about doing this type of stuff. All right, so get out there, have a great one, and I'll see you in the next video right here on the ILD channel.